people people hate what they do not understand. And one thing, a couple things that the enemy just can't understand is the persistence and determination and resilience, and they don't understand where it comes from. But so everything is frequencies. Everything is frequencies. And when you tap in, when you tap into the frequency of the creator of all, when you tap into that frequency, you tap into an abundance of everything, an abundance of everything. One thing, one thing that goes through my mind is, there's plenty of times where the gas light's on. You can see the gas light's on. You hear the notifications going off telling you, the gas light's on. It's been on. But you just keep going. You just keep going and going past the point where you shouldn't be able to be going anymore. You go hundreds, thousands of miles past. When the gas light's still on, it's still on. But you're not fixating on that. You're not focusing on that. It's like it doesn't even exist because you're keeping your eye on God. You're not keeping your eye on this gaslight that's on, because that gaslight it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because just the way that when you tap into the frequency of the creator, it's constantly flowing back into you. You think you're empty. You think you're empty, but you're not. Even if it's just running on fumes, you're still running. You're still running. You're still running until you stop, until you allow yourself to stop, until you give up, until you stop fighting. But if you keep, but when you tap into that frequency, you don't stop. You don't stop. You don't. What's interesting? Persistence and everything, right? So I had set my intention earlier that I was gonna do my spiritual bath, right? And I was filling up pots to boil on the stove, right? And and my higher self told me don't use one of these pots. One, it's small. It's small. It's what's the point? It's only a little bit. I was trying to cut some corners to save a little bit of time, but it really wasn't saving much. Because I had a bigger pot that I was going to use, right? Well, I was using. So I didn't really need this other one. But I went against my higher judgment, right? I went against it. And when I was going from the kitchen to the bathroom to pour it in the tub, I slipped, and it poured out. It poured out. It ran all the way down my leg, right? But it wasn't that bad until it got trapped. It got trapped in my sock, and the boiling water was trapped in my sock. I don't know if you can see it on here, but this thing is bubbled the fuck up on my ankle. It feels amazing. But I went against my higher judgment. I knew I shouldn't have. But also, I was rushing. I was rushing the process. And when we rush the process, we make mistakes and we get setbacks, right? But we have choices. Are we going to let that setback hinder us, or are we going to persevere through it and push forward through it? I still have my intention set on taking the spiritual bath, right? So I still continue to do that. 4:00 when I said that. So I went to go hop in it, right? And it was where it should have been. The temperature it needed to be, right? But this leg, the arm where the the water landed on it, I couldn't handle it. And so I tried working my way into it slowly, because I'm persistent. I'm doing this. I'm determined. I'm doing this. And then it's like, okay, that's not working. So then I tried cooling I put some cold water into it to cool it down a little bit, right? But I wasn't happy about that, because then it's at a temperature I shouldn't be, whatever. But then it's like, okay, let me just keep that leg out of it. Let me keep this leg out of the water, and problem solved, right? But where there's a will, there's a way. But it's all being still and listening and meditating and listening to your higher self, listening to your higher self. When you get those intuitive hits, when you get that instinct, like, hey, I shouldn't be doing that, or hey, I need to be doing that, or hey, I shouldn't be cutting these corners. I don't need to be. It might take a little bit longer to do it this way, but what's the rush? What's the rush? But then being, accountable for our decisions, accountable for our actions. I made the decision not to listen to my higher self, and cut the corners and use that other pot. I did it. I caused this burn, but I'm still doing this. I'm still determined to take the spiritual path. I'm not gonna let that hinder me. So the best thing you could do is not to give up on yourself. Not to give up on yourself. And when you feel like you have, that's when you need to really stand 10 toes down on your faith. 10 toes down on your faith. And you give thanks for whatever it is you need. You give thanks because you speak into existence and you know that it's already happened. Just as Yeshua told everyone, it wasn't he didn't do anything. He didn't heal people. It was their belief, their faith that healed them. And that's the part that people miss. If he wanted to, just heal people, he would have opened a hospital. If he wanted to just feed people, he would have opened a market. But he was trying to teach people how to do it themselves. And that's what people miss. Though that's the lesson that people miss. But part of it was missed intentionally because it's been distorted over the years by man because they want you to be trapped into a sin-based religion. They don't want you to be able to do everything yourself, which is what Yeshua tried to teach everyone to do. But $7 on the dot. Let's see what the ancestors have to say. What variables? There's always going to be variables. There's always going to be unaccounted for variables. But but we adapt. We adapt and we overcome and we persevere through it. We adapt and we overcome. And it's going to feel sometimes that we're abandoned. It's going to feel like we're abandoned sometimes. It's going to feel like that. But we're not. We're not. Just because you only see one set of footsteps doesn't mean that you're the only one there. Like, come on. Like, we're not abandoned. We're not in this alone. But, but that's why you meditate. That's why you tap in. That's why you tap in. Because then it's even more evident to you that you're not alone. We're not alone. We're not alone. And when you really persevere through it and you dig in and you find that that mustard seed, and you find that mustard seed of faith, you know what I mean, and you dig deep, and it's people will be fascinated. You'll fascinate yourself sometimes with what you're able to achieve, what you're able to accomplish when you set your mind to it in your heart, when you set your true intentions, when you're fully aligned with your intentions and your actions and everything. It's amazing, and it's going to leave people astonished. It's going to leave them astonished, the things that you can do. Take the leap. Take the leap. Take the leap of faith. Take the leap of faith. Take that road, that solemn road. Take that solemn road that not many people dare to even go on. Yeah, it's the most challenging. It's the more challenging road, but it's also the most rewarding. A lot of people say they want change. They say they want things, but their actions say otherwise. Their actions say otherwise. Because they're satisfied. They're satisfied living in their wants of the flesh. They're satisfied, they're satisfied just being content with lower vibrational stuff. But it's it's an oxymoron. It's an oxymoron to be jealous of people that are doing better, that are doing things to raise their frequency. It's an oxymoron. It's an oxymoron to do that. Because how can you be jealous of something that you're not willing to work for? Well, we're all capable of doing these things. We're all capable of it, but we choose not. But that's a choice that we make. It's a choice that we make. Unimaginative. The pressures of life can sometimes rob us of our inspiration. So it's about finding time to become inspired so that we can reimagine life. Rather than remain on the treadmill, we need to make our own choice of where we want to go. The ability to see things without actually seeing them lives in every child. Yet as we grow older, some of us lose our ability to imagine. As adults, our capacity to create is directly linked with the depth of our imagination. To see things without seeing, to know things without being told, we need to retain our imagination. To exercise it regularly, or it will wither away. You need to think outside of the box. Ordinary solutions are just not cutting it. You had great imagination in your childhood years, so why not go back to when you were young and remember how to imagine? You know, it takes reprogramming. It takes reprogramming your mind. 1221. It takes reprogramming your mind, you know, and you know what? That's reprogramming your mind. You know, so might as well advertise for it now. So I plan on I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna open up my my alignment coaching. I'm gonna open up my alignment coaching, and my alignment coaching includes everything. You know what I mean? It includes you know, my light worker skills. You know, my ability to show people a different angle, a different perspective, get them to be able to look at things differently. You know, it's my shamanic, you know, just my natural remedies for things. It's, you know, it's everything all tied into one package. And you know, and it's so before I offered this to my friends and family, friends and family package for free, but they didn't want it. And now the value's gone up, and now that's going to be $100 an hour for a private counseling, right? But well worth it, and it's only going to go up. It's only going to go up from there. You know, I spent 4 years really dedicating to my shadow work, and I spent the last 2 years pretty much really tapping in and learning how best to apply it. And I'm pretty freaking good at it. I'm pretty good. And my value, you know, the value of my work is only going to increase. You know, the availability is only going to decrease, and the value of it is only going to go up. So, you know, unlike the people from my past that had the opportunity and missed out on it, you know, so they say that the student meets the teacher when they're ready, but it's all a choice. You know, we decide, are we ready? Are we willing to put in the work? And I have no intention of working with anyone that's not willing to put in the work. And you know, I don't sugarcoat things. I tell you exactly how it is, and my method works. I know it does. I know it works. And so, you know, but people have to be willing to think outside the box. They got to be willing to fully reprogram their mind. Is it going to be easy? No, but you know what I mean. The possibilities are unimaginable. They're unimaginable. You know, so if that's something you're interested in, you know, that'll be done via Zoom meetings. So 1444. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and send me a message on my TikTok. I would never reach out to anyone. And just send me one message. Just say, alignment coaching. Just say that, and then I'll reach back out to you. But yeah, that's where we're at.